was having an issue, didn't want to go horizontal. But good morning. I see one of you are already in here. I don't know who it is, but good morning to you. We are working on Satterlee. I don't know why I keep saying Shatterly. It's Satterlee, S-A-T, Satterlee. Um, and I have a unique way of making it my own. So I was looking at these boxes yesterday as I was cleaning up, and I was looking at my scraps, and I thought, oh, this will give me a good reason to work on my raw edge applique. And someone had said you could do a beautiful design in the center for quilting. And I got thinking, she's so right if I was that kind of long armor, but I'm not. Good morning, Joyce. So we're going to do the center together, but I have already cut out these from my scraps, and I am going to use this machine, which is next to here. Update on my machine. I spoke to the lady, the owner of the shop who has my machine, and they have tried to fix it, replace many little things. It's just not working, so it is actually getting shipped to Baby Lock. I have to pay for it. It's not under warranty, but it is getting shipped to Baby Lock. Hopefully it won't be that expensive to fix. So that's where we're at with that right now. She knows how much I love my machine, so, oops. Okay, I've never used this machine to sew on, so I don't like the way it bounces. There. Okay. Oh, this table is supposed to be made for sewing. It bounces everywhere when you put your machine there. I can't, I'm sorry, when I'm with the comments, I do have it on the big screen, but I'm over here. I don't have it. I've got my back towards it. I don't know if you could see what I'm doing. Let's see. What if I do it this way? So I don't do this often. So therefore, I'm not going to say I'm an expert at it. You saw that I was having panic attacks of having to applique while I was on retreat. But maybe this would have been easier if I just did a single line. Of course, I'm over here trying, let's see, did I get it? Yeah. I'm trying to do a zigzag. Maybe I should have aborted the mission of a zigzag and just done a straight line. But I do kind of like the look of the zigzag. So maybe I'll stop griping about it and just do it. All right, so here we are. Yep, I did. Did I catch it? Yes, I did. All right, so, you know, when this gets long arm, it's going to get long armed. I'm just going to widen this just a smidge. Good morning, Deb. Yes, Leanna's over here, raw edge applique on this little machine here. Look at that. I am getting there. So this is how I'm zhuzhing up or making it unique, making this quilt uniquely my own. I did just upload a video about making quilts uniquely your own. Oh, I do not like the way this table bounces. I have never used this table until right now, this table here. This actually is a sewing machine table. So why is it bouncing? I have no idea. You saw that? My machine was bouncing, 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 bouncing. I tried to put this down because this can be put at many levels, and I could not get this sucker to match the length of my machine. Not the length, I'm sorry, the height of my machine. Yes, I had such a rough night of sleep. I was up at 2 a.m. I did stay in bed. I did fall back asleep, but I am now groggy. Needless to say, I was toying with the idea of not even, I use steam seam light, but I was thinking maybe I could just steam seam this light right on there, and then, hold on, and then I could just quilt over it on my long arm, and I don't have to even, like, do what I'm doing. But I don't know, I've never tried it. I've heard of people doing it, but I've never tried it. I guess you don't know until you try. If someone has tried that, let me know, because I honestly don't know. Couldn't sleep. I know. I don't know. I couldn't either. All right. So we have that and this. So we're making progress. The reason why I am taking the time to do this and not adding any more to this quilt is because it probably, if I thought of this earlier, would have been easier to have done this on the little, I can't tell you how big those squares are, almost did, to put them on the squares before I attached it to the quilt. So the future hearts I'm going to do in the little squares and then sew them on. So I don't know if today's show is going to be exciting, as I'm mostly probably going to be getting these hearts on here. Deb, you are working on something that has suns, I believe, right? And you all are, did I miss you guys appliquing them on? Or is this how you do it? It's 5 here. Well, I woke up after 2, I fell asleep, and then I woke up at 4:55. And then I gave up and came up here and started playing and making videos. Jump of this table. Maybe it's because I'm going too fast. All right. So look at that. I just jumped myself right out of my line. Okay, I'm going to have to come back in here because I'm pretty sure that I missed a whole section when this was jumping. That's annoying. Yep, I did. Okay. Well, it's a good thing this quilt is going to have a lot of quilting on. It's probably not going to notice that I skipped a whole little section, but I went back. I fixed it. All right, and then the last one on here. Singing in the Rain has an applique sun. So how are you doing that, Deb? Are you machine appliquing it, or are you hand appliquing? And when you, let's see, what did she say? Oh, she didn't. Did I miss you applique it? All right. Yes, definitely easier if we had done this, I think. Well, I have a small throat. This is just this machine has a small, tiny throat. So it's a lot of fabric I'm trying to get in there. Good morning, Annette. The umbrella handles are applique too. I machine applique. Oh, okay. Now, when people machine, I'm pretty, like, I don't do a lot of this. Do you all use like stabilizer on the bottom when you machine applique, or do you just go for it like I'm doing? All right, this is my last one. Yay. Okay, so did not too bad. There we go. We've got all 4 applique. So I'm going to bring the camera and everything to the other end because we are going to work on the heart, the big heart in the center. I thought maybe I just do small hearts, which I may. I don't know yet. I used heat and bond on the actual sun part and handles, but sewed this rays down first. Okay. So this is just a bucket of stuff. Okay, here it is, our thing. Now, to do these hearts here, right? I have 4 more. I use my heart set that Lynn has at her store that she's selling. So I use the 4-inch, right? Yeah. I used the 4-inch heart. I took it off of here, traced it on there, and I've used the 4-inch heart. The 5-inch was not quite big enough. So what I did was I traced the 5-inch heart. I don't know if you could see it on here. And then what I did was I took it to the copy machine and enlarged it. Hello, Chloe. I was going to say Morgan. I don't even know what. All right, so these are our sides. We need that. This probably shouldn't have pencil around. Okay, so these are my scraps. Oh, these are the hearts. So these hearts, actually, I could just peel off the paper. That's what I have this bucket for. And here are my squares. I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's see. That looks about right. And then I'm going to applique these on these squares before we sew them into the quilt. I think it'll be easier. I'm hoping it'll be easier. Here we are. And I'm using Steam to Seam Light, which is a Warm and Natural Company product. I don't know. This is what I've always used. Years ago, I used to do, I don't know what you want to call it, scrapbook quilting. I don't know. It was, I don't even know what kind of quilting it was called. But you took the Steam to Seam and you snip it. I think it was called snippet quilting. And we use this, so I'm just used to using this. All right, there we go. So we have those. Those are ready to be appliqued on. Well, I have to heat them. Okay, these are the sides for the Satterlee that we need to add next. And here is our center. So I could add like hearts in the center, but I think I'm just going to do one large one. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to use a piece. We have this left over, a piece of this. So actually, this is way too big. Way too big. So I'm going to take these two pieces here, and I'm going to sew them together. Let's see, will that give me a big enough heart? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to sew these two so like I make a 4. And I'm going to do that right here. All right, so I have this. I'm going to press this open. So as you can see, my scraps, and I'm going to take my heart, and here is a piece of steamer seam. So, you know what? I'm very frugal. So you could just take this, put this on there, take that and cut, right? But I'm frugal. So we are going to take my pen here, and I'm going to go in the back. And this is one of those, I don't know, what do they call the pens that, okay, I want to put this like that. There we go. The heat pens. You think I do know the name, but I just escaped my head right now. I don't use them often. Okay. So I'm going to take that. I traced that on there. That's exactly how I did the other one. And then I'm going to peel this back. Just a little. I guess I'm doing this. No, I'm not going to peel it back. That's not how I did it. Trying to think how I did it to save on. This stuff is expensive. Okay, this is how I did it, because this stuff is really expensive. I need a pen. Here we are. Oh, you know what? I'll just use a pen from here. You can do this however you prefer. This stuff is extremely expensive, so I do it like this. It is much easier if you go ahead and just stick it on there. These are my paper scissors. I didn't want to use my fabric scissors yesterday on this. And then I got thinking, really what I could have done is I could have used my pinking shears, because that would have been cute, or my pinking blades, because I got pinking blades from one of you all. There we go. So I have my heart. I have this left over. Putting this to the side. This is all my leftover pieces. I just have on, oops. I have on here. All right. So now, take this off. Peel the piece off. I put my heart right on here. There we are. And I just take my hand, and if you just do this, the heat of your hand should kind of get it sticky enough so that you can then peel the other side. If not, you could take a quick iron to it, but normally that works. All right, so that there. Now we're going to take our center. I'm going to put this away. And now I'm going to try to find the center of this. You know what? I'm not even going to try to find this. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to say that looks good. Yep. I'm going to say that looks good. And then I just take my heel. And see, it's on there for the most part. It's on there enough for me to take it over to the iron. So there it is. I have my hearts. And we're good there. So we're going to put you over. Good morning, Catherine. We are working on some applique this morning on my Satterlee. Let's see. There you go. So we're going to put that there. And then I'm going to press these hearts down so that this way this is going to be easier for me to sew. I have this right here that I'm using to press with. This, you're going to work not a problem. This is, believe it or not, an air fryer liner. So this is what I'm using because I don't have any fancy like applique pressing sheets or anything like that. I have nothing for applique here in this house. So we're making do using this liner. See? And basically it's a piece of parchment. These are put on, and we'll put these aside, and we will go for this. Parchment paperwork. Yep, that's exactly what it is. It's just, I was lazy. I have parchment downstairs, but up here in our mini kitchen, we have the air fryer, and my son has those liners, and I'm like, oh, I think I'll take one of these liners so I don't have to go downstairs. And good morning, Andrea. I'm hoping your daughter is doing well today or getting better every day. We are all thinking about her, sending our well wishes your way. So exciting. We've got our big piece done. Almost. I might be getting a little bit of the applique bug going on. Good morning, Zaza. Yes, everything is looking up. She's awake out of ICU in a transitional room. Got to talk to her last night, and she's still groggy, but sounded well. Well, that's wonderful news. Wonderful news. All right, so we have this. So this is how you can zhuzh up or make a quilt pattern, right? Unique and your own. Oops. I just took this out. Oh my Lord. I did not mean to take that out. I'm also going to have a little gunk on my needle, so I'm just pulling off. That's what I meant to do. This little machine's a champ. This was my daughter's machine. I think she was 8, maybe 9. I don't recall. I have to ask her when she wanted this machine in Sears. You know, when Sears was a thing. And we went to Sears, I remember. And she said for her birthday, she wanted a sewing machine like Mommy. Good morning, Norma. So there we are. And with this machine, all my 2 other boys also learned to sew and do projects. So our center of Satterlee, I don't know why I keep wanting to say Satterlee. I'm going to put this in the center, and I'll be right back. So, of course, I came up with this idea after we already sewed it. So now the next step is to sew the next row. We're going to sew these right now because I'm sure it's going to be a lot easier to applique on this little thing than having the whole top. So let's do that, and then we'll sew these in. Oh, so much better to do this little piece. So much better than trying to fight with that big thing. It's also easier to maneuver. You know, I have to send my mom a gift. It was her birthday last week, and we have something to mail to her, but I kind of wanted to make something. And maybe I'll make something applique, like a kitchen towel, like I did over retreat, because that was kind of fun to do that. Maybe I'll make a heart kitchen towel. All right. Yes, so much better. I love applique. Well, I'm slowly getting myself into it a little bit more. So I have that. They are coming out beautiful. And then, I don't know, it fills in that space. If I was a very skilled long armer, I probably could fill that space up with beautiful stitching. But being that I only do loops and just really basic long arming on my quilts, yeah, that space probably needs to have something a little bit more than just hearts and bows. And then what I'll do is I will probably long arm this. I do something called hearts and loops. I've pretty much mastered that. So I may quilt this with hearts and loops. Again, I do not have automation. I am the automation. Yeah, these are coming by really nice and quick. All right. We may have this quilt ready in no time. see. Now that I'm feeling comfortable, I may be able to actually do a question or two. Here we go. We'll go over here. Ooh. Oh, the first one I picked is kind of creepy. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We're going to give you some story backlog so that I can give you some story time too. We are on a picnic. And we are on a picnic with our loved one. I don't know. Maybe we're on a picnic with someone we are getting to know. Let's see. Can we give him a name? Maybe we can say Jose. We are on a date with Jose. And we are on a picnic with Jose. And we are just sitting there sipping our wine, eating our crudité, our beautiful, let's see, what else could we be eating? We could be eating a cheese platter, right? Charcuterie, that's it. We're eating charcuterie. We're having grapes. It's a beautiful romantic time. It's sunny outside. And all of a sudden, this happens. How to deal with a tarantula that's on your bare leg. Yes, you're laying, you're beautiful, and all of a sudden, you feel something crawling up your bare skin, and you look down. And now you have to deal with a tarantula that's on your bare skin. So let's see, what do? A, squish it with your hand. B, flick it off with a stick or rolled up newspaper. Or C, pick it up gently with your fingers and toss it as far as you can. C, we have a C. Are tarantulas poisonous? I don't even know if those are poisonous spiders. I know they're big, hairy, and long, and people keep them as pets. Up there. I was maybe going too fast. I'm not sure. I was in the groove. A, we have an A. I'm not squishing it, so B. Zaza, what would you be doing with that tarantula that's crawling up on your leg on that very nice day? I honestly, I think I would panic. I hope Jose knows what he's doing because I think I'd be freaking out. So my answer would be D, freaking out, hoping Jose knows exactly what to do. Because we left, remember, we left George in the jungle. All right, so we have these done. So we could start putting these in our quilt. There they are. I'll be passed out on the floor. Exactly. Seriously, I'm like, all right, so we're going to go over. Oh, no, we're not going to go over. We're just going to come here. This way I could see what's going on in the chat. They are big and hairy, but harmless. I would probably pick it up and gently place it on the ground and send it its way. I need this here. Well, as long as they're not aggressive and want to bite you and poison you, probably flick it off by jerking my leg because I'm not touching it. So the answer is B. It's B. Flick it off with a stick or rolled up newspaper. Flick it off. Not kill it, flick it off, okay? We're flicking it off. So here we are. All right. Okay, so after that whole thing with Jose, this goes over here. We decide, what in the world just happened here? Okay. We decide we're going to go, I don't know, we're going out with our girlfriends now. And we all think that it is going to be a hoot. And I think we've done this before, so this may be one of those pop quiz questions, you know, that the teacher gives you a quick pop quiz. We decide that it is, I don't know, how old are we? We're going to say we're 60 years old. It's our 60th, all of us are turning 60 that year, we're going to say. And we decide, wouldn't it be a hoot if we would go skydiving? Yep, we're going skydiving. Yep, our kids told us not to go skydiving, so what do? We go skydiving. Because we're not listening to our adult children because they never listen to us. I'm just putting this. I want to make sure that my strips are going correct. So this goes there, and then this one would go here. Yeah. So this is what happens. How to survive a parachute that won't open on your very first jump lesson. It's your very first jump lesson. Oh no, not me. Deb's like, not happening here. All right, so I'm just putting these up here, and then this one comes here, and this one comes here. All right, so I'm going to put these two, that on that end and that on that end. So here we go. A, aim for a swimming pool, lake, or other body of water. B, curl into a ball, protecting your head with your hand. C, wave your arms at your instructor. Hook your arms into your instructor's harness and hold on while he deploys his parachute. I hope my instructor went first because if I jumped first and he's up there, I have a feeling gravity's taking me down first. So I'm hoping he jumped first. But I'm with Deb. I'm probably never, ever going to do that. Unless I have to. Unless I have to. And plus, I thought that when you go to those lessons and you're a newbie, especially your first time, don't they jump along with you? Like, aren't you both in a harness together? It says if I have to, see. So yes, the answer is if you have to, you need to wave your arms at your instructor, hook your arms into your instructor's harness, and hold on while he deploys his parachute. Many questions, being that I've never been parachuting. How do I get into my instructor's arms? I'm a little confused. This whole thing I'm envisioning is very confusing to me. For those of you who have gone skydiving, you can educate me because I'm a little confused about this question. I thought you're both, oh, maybe you, okay, maybe you are together and yours doesn't happen, but his, I don't know. Either way, I'm not going. I'll sit this one out. All right, so I have this. What is going on here with this? It's only my light that keeps doing it. All right. So as you can see, I have my applique heart right onto here. Let me get my ironing board. And I'm going to press that, except for my iron is cold. All right, so that's how we survive that. We already did the Heimlich maneuver. How many times do we have to do the Heimlich maneuver? Okay, how to save an infant or toddler from choking. Oh, you missed it. And then we had tarantulas crawling up our bare legs. We went skydiving and our chute didn't open. Now we're, I don't know where we're at, but we have to save an infant or toddler from choking. So here are our answers. This is important information because you never know if you need this. If they got this right. A, grab the child by the ankles and quickly flip him over upside down. Shake the child until the obstruction falls out. B, lay the child face down on your lap with his or her head hanging downward. Smack between the shoulder blades to dislodge the obstruction. C, wait for an ambulance so you do not cause any further harm to the child. We have a lot of bees, so we have that. Oops. This one was the one on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to come over here and we are going to do the sides to this. Yes, we have a lot of bees. Okay, lots of bees. So the answer is B. The answer is B. Now, why does this is supposed to lay on here flat? It doesn't feel flat to me. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. I'm pinning just in case. It didn't feel flat, but it is. All right, so now we've done the toddler thing, the bare legs. Okay, how to recognize a compound fracture. Where's Myra? She's our ER, Zaza, right? Your ER person. Here we go. We're playing ER right now. How to recognize a compound fracture. A, the bone has pierced the skin and it is visible. B, the break occurred in more than one place. C, it is not possible to recognize a compound fracture without an X-ray. Those are our choices. We have A's. A's are coming up. Hello, Dawn. we're going to... So A is the correct answer. The bone has pierced the skin and it is visible. All right. Oh, here we go again. Oh, this is a different kind of spider. Okay. Apparently we're in the spider mood today. Okay. How to determine if a black widow spider is female and therefore more poisonous. Listen, folks. If I see a black widow spider, because I used to have to check when I used to live in Texas, okay? Especially in the mornings by my doorway, I am not going to see what the sex of the black widow spider is. I do not care if it's a male or if it's a female. Don't want it there. I am not checking. But I guess if I was curious, maybe someone got bit by one and therefore now we need it and we killed it. I'm not sure, but here we go. How to determine if a black widow spider is a female and therefore more poisonous. A, check for blue markings on its back. B, check for red and orange hourglass-shaped markings on the spider's abdomen. Or C, check for a bullseye pattern on the spider's back. Listen, folks, I ain't not doing any of it. I'm not going to check either. Just get rid of it. Exactly. Don't want it. Don't care. I really don't care if it's a boy or a girl. I don't care. And being that is named Black Widow Spider, I just, I guess, assumed they were all women. I don't know. But that doesn't mean anything, right? Because men are widowers too. So. And we got a resounding B. So B is what I checked when I would go out for spiders in the morning. So yes, check for a red or orange hourglass-shaped marking on the spider's abdomen. Okie dokie on that one. Oh, this here, we've had this one before. So this is another pop question. Pop quiz question. Let's see if we remember. And these do look familiar. So here we go. Actually, this just happened and I saw something that says some guy was in quicksand at, I think, at the beach of all places. I didn't think that quicksand could be at the beach, but I guess, right? There's lots of sand. Okay, what to do when stuck in quicksand? And he was like halfway in before they got to him. A, move your legs in a swift running motion in an attempt to escape. B, place a stick under your hips, lie on your back, and float out of the quicksand. And C, place a stick vertically in the quicksand until you feel solid ground below, then attempt to hike out. I am pressing. We have C's. We have lots of C's. All right, so we have this press, and now this is our top. So we're going to put this on here. So B probably won't find a long stick long enough. Well, the crazy thing is, like that guy who was stuck on in quicksand, he did not have a stick anywhere near him. He was on the beach. So the stick, I don't know, you're screwed if you don't have a stick, I guess. But in his case, they got him out. So someone saw him. They called the authorities. So they did D, call 911. That's what they did, is my guess. All right, so the answer is B. Good morning, Linda. Yes, good morning. So the answer is B. Place a stick under your hips, lie on your back, and float out of the quicksand. That's the answer. So who was going to Walmart yesterday? Someone here was going to Walmart yesterday. I was wondering if that thing was true about Walmart. Because inquiring minds want to know. All right, so here we go. How to escape a riptide. So if you're in Puerto Rico, this is important because there are lots of riptides, especially at the beach I frequent, a lot of the beaches. You have to know your limits and you should follow the rules. Like, you know, if they tell you don't go out there, don't go out there. You know, most people, my honey's been caught out on a riptide out in Puerto Rico on his surfboard, because that's where they are. If you have your surfboard, you know, you're on your surfboard, so you figure out a way to get out. Hope, you know, he did successfully get out. Hi, Muriel. But that was just a quick PSA. Okay, how to escape a riptide. A, fight the current and swim straight to shore. B, swim parallel to the shore until you escape the rip current, then head back to land. Or C, dive underwater to get below the rip current and then swim to shore. Oh, I think I've lost my bobbin. Nope. Oh, it's making that noise as if I'm going to be done with my bobbin. Ah, there it is. My machine, it's so funny, makes this noise. I didn't make it yesterday. When I go, I'll let you know what I find. Not a problem. I was just curious. Curious if that person got that right, or if they're just trying to do mass hysteria out there, getting people all wound up. All right, so the answer is B. Swim parallel to shore until you escape the rip current and then head back to land. So that's what my honey did. But actually, he actually ended up catching a wave back into land. All the answers are B's. Yes, I'm noticing that, Dawn. I was noticing that myself, but I didn't want to say anything. All right, so I've run out of bobbins. Run out of bobbin thread. So I don't want to unthread this. So let me grab another spool here. Here, we'll go with this. Good morning, Johnny. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? See, here's the one I was telling you. Remember, we were all talking about how Affilate, some of the spools are going wackadoodle. There's one of them. Still in bed. That's because you heard those questions from before. Yep. All right. So I'm going to make a couple bobbins. I didn't realize I ran out a lot of bobbins. Whew. Must sew way too much. More than I should, huh? So let me give you another question once I get this. Oh, there it goes. Vámonos. Good old fashioned spittle to get my thread going. I hope I'm not the only seamstress that does that. I think I learned that from my Grammy. You should contact Oracle. They might replace them. Yeah, I don't know. This happened to Lisa too. We were discussing that on a live. Yeah, no. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. We did that. Okay. How to, oh, here we go. This one is fabulous. I don't know if this exists. Oh, yeah, this is maybe not the best spool to try to be making. I am what in the world is going on today? I'm losing patience over making a freaking bobbin. There it goes. Now, this is the backstory. We went to, where did we go? I'm going to open this up. Oops, and try to put it there and see what happens. We went to, I don't know. We were in France. Maybe we're in France. We'll go with that. We're in France. We are at, where are we in France? Let's think. I don't know. We're reenacting Louis the whatever's Versailles time. Okay, I don't know. You know how people reenact things. We're over at Versailles. And we need to defend ourselves in a sword fight because we decided we're going to be in a sword fight. Here we go. How to defend yourself in a sword fight if your opponent attacks with his foil over his head. I don't even know what that means. But listen, his foil is over your head and now you got to figure out how to unfoil him, is my guess. Okay, so here we go. It worked out that there was like a puddle of thread that was coming off of this. And so, I don't know, it worked itself out. Thank God, because Orifil's expensive. All right, there we go. So how to defend yourself in a sword fight if your opponent attacks with his foil over his head. A, move in close. Keep your sword above your head and parallel to the ground. B, keep your sword in a vertical position and parry the blow to the side. Or C, step back and swing the sword like a bat to hit him in the knees. Or D, Leanna is running away, far, far away when she saw a sword coming near her. So there you go. What are our choices? Let us know. Oh, this is a red one. That could go in here. And that's another color one. All right, we're good with two. I doubt we're going to use two bobbins while we're here. I'll try to remember to fill more this afternoon. All right, here we go. It's clean. Not really. Let me clean. Retreat. Everybody's running away from the sword. Oh, boy. So the answer here is, the answer is A. It's not B. It is A. And it is move in close. What in the world? Move in close and keep your sword above your head and parallel to the ground. Here we are. All right, here we go. Let's get ourselves, and now we can put that back on top of that. So there we go. Okay, we already did this one, how to order flowers in season. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is an interesting question. We've never had this one before. So we are in a foreign country, and we were too broke to rent a car. So we rented the best next thing, which is a golf cart. There you go. How to pilot your golf cart in any country that drives on the left. A, you drive on the same side that they drive on the roads, so you would go down the left side of the fairway. B, most of these countries do not allow golf carts. You have to walk. C, all golf carts are left-hand drive. If you don't drive down the middle of the fairway or on the cart path, you would drive down the right side. So it's funny because I was just telling Honey the other day that we should get a golf cart, if we find one in Puerto Rico, to take to the beach. Because that's a trending thing now. Everybody's got their, and they bedazzled, and they got big speakers and music speakers and lights. Everybody's bedazzling their golf cart to go to the beach. And that's a new thing. I've only seen that in the last 2 years. All right, so we have an A and we have a B. Make sure I'm putting this right. Yep. Oops. I put that wrong. So my hearts are facing this way, so my hearts have to face this way as well, right? Yep. And the answer is not up there. The answer is C. So I'll read that. So all golf carts are left-hand drive. If you don't drive down the middle of the fairway or the cart path, you would drive down the right side. So there you go. There's the answer for that one. Okay. Now we're so broke that now we cannot afford to rent a car, and we now can't afford to rent a golf cart. And we do not want to walk. So guess what we're doing? We're riding a camel. Yeah, it didn't specify where we're at, because it's talking about roads when you look at A and B. So I'm not quite sure. I think they just make stuff up, and then we just go with it. But now it doesn't matter, because we're too broke now to even have that golf cart. So now we're riding a camel. And this is what's happened. How to ride a camel. How to ride a stampeding camel in a sandstorm. Because not only do we get a camel, but now we're in a sandstorm. Just don't go on vacation with me. It's probably the safest thing. But you can go on retreat with me, just not on vacation. Ride the camel on the left. So here we go. Okay, how to ride a stampeding camel in a sandstorm. A, knowing the camel might take you deep into the desert, immediately attempt to jump off. B, hang on tight and pull the reins to one side. C, hang on until the sandstorm is about upon you, and the camel will immediately change directions and take you back the way you came. Annette's still riding her camel on the left. Nobody knows what to do with this camel anymore. We have C. I mean, I do believe animals have instincts and they know where they're going. So Annette, I'm with you on C because I do feel that way. No camel rides here. Linda's walking. The one where you pull the reins and have him run in circles. So I would go with C, but of course that is not the right answer because I never get the right answer. So it is B, hang on tight and pull the reins to one side. I hate all these loose threads. I feel more and more, my older stash, I don't get all these loose threads. It's my new stash that I get threads everywhere. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but the newer fabric seems to shred a lot more. All right, so I'm over here, I'm pressing this part, and then we are going to border this with our strips. Let's see. Here it is. Again, and then we're going to put, I think, our last row of these strips. But I do have quite a bit of leftover, even with cutting hearts out and appliquing. So maybe I'll add another row, or maybe we'll do something fun with borders. That would cause him to run. Oh, that would cause him to run in circles. There you go. All right. That's the golf cart. Oh, here we go. This one could be a comical situation. Oh, where is Babalota? I need Babalota because there's a question coming up that's about the Netherlands. We'll have to see, but I'm gonna have to keep that one until she comes on. All right, here we are. So we have, so far, I'm gonna put it up here so you can see. We have this part here. That is what we have. Oh, good. You could see it. I'm looking at myself. So this is what we have. Now we're going to take our strips again, and we're going to go around. I have to join some strips together. So before I do that, because let's see, I think this takes more than one strip. Oh, this strip is not. That's a half a strip. Yeah. Oh, no, this takes a full strip. Okay. So that takes it. So I will need this half strip onto here. And then I need one strip for either side. No, both sides, not either. Both sides need that. So I have a strip, another strip, and then 2.5 strips so that we can put on there. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I thought that said the public restroom. Okay, that's not a funny thing. Actually, when I read this really quick, I thought the question said we were being robbed in a public restroom. I'm thinking that could be comical on the toilet. But no, that's not where we're at. I read that completely wrong. Sometimes, Leanna, you just read things so wrong. All right. Here's another half. Okay, let's get some water in me. Maybe I need some water. Okay, we're not getting robbed in a public restroom. How to avoid being attacked or robbed while using a public telephone. Public telephone. Because those exist, right? And I don't even think those exist in 2006. Maybe they did. I don't know. A, use a telephone credit card rather than cash and keep your conversation brief. Frequently turn around to scan the area behind you. B, use a prepaid phone card and conduct your conversation facing out and away from the phone. C, do not use telephones inside other buildings. Stick to the ones on the street. There you go. And with that, because none of that exists, we are going to put strips on our quilt. Muriel says B. Okay, so B is the right answer. No one even knows how to answer that one because we don't really use that. We can't really ever use that. This survival. Well, maybe. Maybe there is a payphone somewhere still left. All right. Here we go. We go from encountering a robber at a telephone, a public telephone, to now encountering a mountain lion. How to survive an encounter with a mountain lion. A, curl up in a ball and cover your head. B, turn and run. C, open your arms and coat wide to make yourself appear larger. All right. I used to when I took a call for the hospital, but it was a long time ago. Send me, I love kitty cats. C. The answer is C. Yes. Open your arms and coat wide. Make yourself appear larger. All right. I'm going to wait on that for Babalota when she comes one day. How to give an excuse for not paying the tab. A, tell your date that you forgot your wallet. B, ask if you can pay next time. C, tell your date that you have a cash flow problem because all your money is tied up in investments. D, say, I thought you invited me, so therefore I'm not obligated to pay the tab. I just made that one up. That was because of a former question. B. Linda says D. Yes. So the answer, where is my... Good morning, Sherry. So the answer is tell your date that you forgot your wallet. That's how you get out of paying the tab. Be honest and apologetic, then find a way to pay the tab as soon as possible. D, don't go out with him without enough funds to pay your own way. That's right. Oh, that's right. Just pay yours. Hey, buddy, you'll have to wash dishes at the end of the night. I'm out of here, and I'll never see you again. No, okay. So Annette is right of the appropriate way, but I don't know if I ever go back on a date with that person. If they didn't want to pay the tab, maybe, and they invited me. Maybe if there was a circumstance, then that'd be different. Oh. So, all right, here we go. Oh, ooh, this is bad. Yeah, this is bad. I think actually we've had this before, so this may be a pop quiz question, but this is bad. No way would I go out with them again if they couldn't pay the tab. Yep. Ready? Here we go. How to survive a plummeting... If you invite someone, you should pay. And that's what they said in these cards. How to survive a plummeting elevator. Ready? A, brace yourself in the door of the elevator. B, jump before the impact. C, lie on your stomach and spread your legs and cover your head. So, D is probably what I would do. Is I probably would lay flat on my stomach on the floor, right? I would somehow be on the floor. And I would be all kinds of praying and crying and all kinds of probably panicking and being hysterical. But that's not a choice. I'm just saying how I would be. But how to survive is a whole nother thing. Read the choices again. Will do. A, brace yourself in the door of the elevator. B, jump just before impact. Or C, lie flat on your stomach, spread your legs open, and cover your head. We have a lot of C's. C is, yes, C is the right answer. I mean, I feel like I would do that, but I feel like I would be crying. I would be speaking in English, speaking in Spanish, praying in every language. Maybe calling my kids, telling them I love them. Calling 911 while I'm laying down. All right. So C is not the right answer. Oh yeah, C is the right answer. Lay flat on your stomach. I was looking at something else. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is also, that one, we've had this question before. We haven't had this question before, but we had the other one. So let's go with this other one. All right. How to safely approach a seal. How to safely approach a seal. I want to make sure that I have myself right here. Okay, ready? We are, how spreading your legs saved your life. Yes, awesome. In this case, spreading your legs will save your life. That's right. Oh man, I didn't even catch that until now. That is so funny. All right, so here we go. How to safely approach a seal. A, lie flat with your arms tucked on your side. Slowly roll your body like a log toward the seal. B, bark like a seal and remain in place until the seal begins to ignore you. It is then safe to approach it. C, approach with your body sideways. Lie flat and bob your head up and down and wiggle your body to best mimic the seal's movement. The animal navy. The animal. Yeah. Yeah, we're not wearing dresses and heels to approach a Navy SEAL. So at the Cape, we see a lot of seals, and I do not try to approach them. I just look at them from afar and let them enjoy themselves in their natural habitat. None of these sound like a good idea. No, me neither. I'm with you. Yeah, I would not recommend these either. That's why I said I just look at them from afar. Yeah, I just let them just enjoy their life. So, but if I guess we had to pick an answer, the answer is C. Approach them with your body sideways, lie flat, bob your head up and down, and wiggle your body to best mimic the seal's movement. But to each his own. I'm not doing that. I'm not approaching. I'm leaving them alone. All right, here we go. We go from seals now to piranhas. Ready? Sit still, let them. Yeah. Me too. Okay, what to do if you must enter piranha-infested waters? If you must. What would be the reasons you would enter the piranha-infested waters? Okay. What to do if you must enter piranha-infested waters? I'm pretty sure we had this. This is more of a pop quiz question. A, throw a large object into the center of the school to disperse the fish. B, cover all bare skin with oil and then quickly swim ashore. C, drop some raw meat over one side of the boat and lower yourself into the water on the opposite side. Okay, if I'm on a boat, that's not a good enough reason for me to go enter piranha-infested water. I'm just saying. If there's a boat involved, no. I'm staying in the boat. Only 8 building spiders would get me into that water. He built testing your chain meal dive gear. Yeah, I think that is a bad idea. I do not recommend entering that piranha infested water. So here's, I'm gonna finish this pass and then I will give you the answer. And the answer is not B. Okay, so the answer is C. Drop some raw meat over one side of the boat and lower yourself into the water on the opposite side. No way, and you know where am I doing that? I am not lowering myself anywhere. Nope. I'm going to stay right on that boat. And if that was some attraction, an excursion, well, nope. Don't aggravate or feed them. They go after anything in those states. Yeah. I'm not going in that water in that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Who wore a meat dress? Someone wore a meat dress to like an awards ceremony. Could you imagine you're on that boat and that boat is sinking and you're wearing a meat dress? Oh boy. Oh boy. Lady Gaga. There we go. Deb got it. What not to wear when you're on a boat in piranha infested waters. Do not wear a meat dress. Whatever you do. I don't think I'd want to wear a meat dress. The idea of raw meat on my body, creeps me out. No, thank you. Okay, here we are. I'm going to put this up and we're going to work on the next part of this quilt. We're getting bigger and bigger. Here we are. It's looking a little lopsided. Now we have 4 more of these. So we're going to have to 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to have to make 4 more hearts. So we're going to take this out. And I guess I'll show you how I did that. All right, so I have this, and we need some scraps. All right, and we need this. Okay, so we have, that's A, B, C. So this is C, because that's A, B. This is C. I don't know. I'm going to have these everywhere. All right, so we're going to put these on here. And that, we're going to put that there. Okay. And this one comes this way. Wait, this goes this way. And this one comes this way. And then we have this that comes up here. So this is the last pass, I think, of this quilt. Let me see. Yes, because then the 4 in the corner, and then it just gets another row of this. But we have all these. I can't. We have way too many of these here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we had. I may not have though enough to do. Let's see. Maybe what I could do is I could use this, and then we can make just a little border just like that. I think that's what we could do. I don't know. Let's see. Or I could maybe, because this is a, right now this is a square, what I could do is after doing this, put the white, I could just put along the top a piano board, keyboard, or piano border, and there, and then call it a day. And then this way it's not a square. All right, so let's go with this. We're gonna go with this. And I'm gonna come over here. Okay, good morning, Anna. Well, thank you. I made it uniquely my own by adding the hearts, and this is how we're doing it. All right. So I'm taking this leftover, and you know what? Do I want to take this leftover? Let's see. I have, let me see how many I would need. I think I would need, I'm just looking at how many. Here it is. So I would need like 30, I think, to go up there. And these are 6. So I would need 5 of these on both sides. And do I even have enough? I'm just trying to see before I do the hearts, because I need to make a very long thing here. So that would be, I get 2. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think I could do a whole nother row all the way above, like another piano key. I think I can actually. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside, and we're gonna go, yeah, we're gonna use this. It just means that all 4 hearts are going to be this. All right, so after I thought about that all out loud, running to the bus stop will be lurking. Okay, I need a few more things done before school starts. Not a problem. See you all later. Okay. So this is what I did with the hearts, because I have some leftover pieces. Here they are. This is what I was using. Light steamacine. All right, so I am going to go ahead and trace this. And I just need 4. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this. Now these templates have lines on them in many different places, like they're scored. I don't know if you can see that. on here, but there's like a scoring. Do you see that? Hi, Melanie. Good morning. See that? So I actually put this line that's here right on the sew line here to kind of, I don't know, I just figured it would center it better. And actually, I don't even need to use this kind of pen. I can use a pencil since this is on the other side. Because yesterday I used this pen, now that I remember. That's all right. And the lines went away. There we go. I'm centering it on the line. Okay. So I have my template. I've got that going. And now what I am doing is I am literally just taking some of this because this has lost its backing on this piece because I'm cheap. I'm just cutting this. I'm just kind of just using it to tack down. And if I use parchment, it's okay. Here you go. I could use this piece right here. There we go. This is the cheap way of doing things. I'm on a budget, so this is budget friendly way of me getting this on there. Okay. This is my budget friendly way. And so remember I said that I remember what I did yesterday. I applied heat at this moment on here, but I can't because I just drew these. So that's why I used a pencil yesterday. That's right. Live and learn. You're learning through my mistakes right now. It's okay. We're just gonna... Is it hot in this house that I already lost? There it is. Okay. There we go. And I just have to trim off here. There we go. So I did that backwards, but this is how I save. Where's my bucket? Oh, it's over there. Okay. So there's this. Now I use this whole big piece. So I have all these other little pieces. And I am just tacking it down. And let's see what's left over here. I'm also very short. As you can see, that thing is empty. So does anybody else do this, or am I just the only person here who does this? Okay, so now this is all ready for another project. And now I'm just going to cut this. And actually I could use my fabric scissors now. It's probably better I use my fabric scissors now. Here they are. Make it cut smoother. All right, got that one. And so not only did we use our scraps that we have from this quilt for, so we don't have that many scraps, but I use the scraps from my steam machine. I've got to figure out how to buy more of this stuff because I used to get this stuff at Joann's. And when I went to Joann's, they didn't have any of this stuff left. All right, so there we go. We have all this. I am taking this to the pressing mat, getting rid of all this. Hi Rita, this is similar to when do fabric piecing with different crumb. Yep, hi Lori. I'm over here. I have my pressing mat. Listen, I couldn't afford to rent a car nor even a golf cart. I was riding a camel, so I have to be frugal with my applique stuff. What are you using? I am using Steam to Seam Light. And I just was using up the leftovers on these little pieces because this stuff is expensive and we're cutting costs. It's going to get it stuck down enough for me to applique it, so I'm all right with it. There it is. All right, now I'm going to put this on the side. I'm going to take our squares. Here's our squares. And it is repositional, so I'm just going to kind of put it on here. Use my hand. You could use your palm. Gets it on there. And I'm adding this to the pattern. This was not in the pattern. I'm making it uniquely my own. I have seen that somewhere online. Yeah, I might have even gotten this last batch on Amazon, I feel. Because I feel like I do crafts with the kids at school, and I feel like I bought a 5-pack for us to do something. And this is what's left over. Here we go. So here are my hearts, and we are going to come over we'll put us right here. I think you could see from there, right? Well, here. We'll put it back there. So this here was, this is just like a piece of parchment. So what I'm going to do is turn that on. I'm going to come here and press this with the parchment now. This will make it a little bit more permanent than what I had. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to applique this before I sew it into the quilt, because it is a lot easier. If you watch my replay, you'll see I was struggling with the whole quilt, having to applique, because I thought of this after the fact. So here we go. So now we're going to come to this machine. Some of the Walmarts have that. Yeah, I think it's a relatively easy thing to find. I was even thinking Michael's might have it. So this is the machine that for those who are just coming in now, this is the machine that I had back here that was my daughter's. And I have it set out now so that if I need any kind of applique or someone wants to come and sew, it's already set in my room. And here it is. So we have one done. 3 more to go. Oh, wow, that would be amazing if the window in my craft room was down low like that, so you could sew and watch the birds and such outside the window. It is. It's lovely. But right now, this doesn't face the beautiful side of the house, which is over here. This faces the main road of the house, but I still see birdies and such things. I see the school I work for right there. I see the kitty cats. Have another one right there, and okay. Ooh, this would be my nightmare. Let's see. Oh, that's even worse. I don't know what one side and then the other side is just as bad. Okay, here we go. How to deal with frostbite. Ready? How to deal with frostbite in the deep wilderness. A, blow on your toes and wiggle them to get the blood flowing. B, build a fire, heat some water, then immerse the affected area in warm water for 10 to 30 minutes. C, build a fire, warm your feet directly over the heat for 5 minutes, and drink plenty of fluids. I want to say in Little House in the Prairie, Mr. Edwards would have a flask for you to drink anytime something went wrong and it was cold out. So we have listening in and going to be driving. Hello, good morning, Sherry. We have a lot of C's. We have an A. Here's another one of these. We have a B. And my last one that I need to do here. So the answer is ready. Oh, here we go. Soak in water. Don't remember which one you said. Warm water sounds good. Anna says B. So the answer is B. Build a fire, heat some water, then immerse the affected area in warm water for 10 to 30 minutes. The only thing is, it says that we're deep in the wilderness. Deep. Are we carrying a pot with us? Like, what are we using to boil up some water and heat up some water? I guess we're not boiling, we're heating it up, but using what? I hope we have Gilligan and the professor with us, because I don't know how any of that's happening. Yes, exactly, Rita. Where are we getting this? Oh, we're deep in the wilderness. It's the first thing it said. All right, so we've got all of our hearts done. So I can shut this off. And we are going to go to the back side. And the back side is just, it gets from worse to worse to more worse, I feel. Okay, so how to be prepared for an escape from a burning hotel. How to escape from a burning hotel. I just woke up. I'm excused from answering questions. You absolutely are, Melanie. A, count the number of doors between your room and the emergency exit and memorize it. B, keep a bucket of ice in the tub at all times. C, ask the front desk for an extra blanket and 2 extra drinking glasses. Okay, there you go. Tag you're it. So we're going to put these here. All right, so I am going to go ahead and add this to that. And here, pack a fire extinguisher with water and pan. You're supposed to have all that in your backpack. Well, now we're in a hotel room and it's burning down and we need to escape. We need to prepare to escape. I mean, you know, if it's burning, I'm not sure if you're going to go down to the front desk. Or maybe you're just preparing before it burns down. I'm not quite sure what's going on here. But definitely, if I could make it to the front desk, I'm making it right out those doors. I'm not asking for anything. Just get me out. So I'm not quite sure if the building is burning or we're just prepping. This is the question. It says how to be prepared. I guess we're prepping. We're preppers. We're preppers. How to be prepared for an escape from a burning building. So when we're going to the hotel, we're already envisioning that hotel's burning, and we're preparing ourselves in case if that should happen. They have those diagrams on the door for that purpose. Sorry, I've been lurking for a while. Started at 4:30. How are you doing? Pretty good. Hi, Joe. So it is A, count the number of doors between your room and the emergency exit and memorize it. Now, I will tell you, when I fly, I do that. When I fly, I don't do it in a hotel room because I'm not envisioning my hotel room to burn. But when I do fly, you know, stuff happens. So I do actually count from where I sit to the exit row on both sides of me, just so that I have it, God forbid, if I needed that information. So I have done that. Well, Joe's been lurking because she's been taking care of bunnies. Such cute little bunny. That bunny is so freaking adorable. And she has been a mama bunny. So she, you know, she's like those mamas who have a newborn baby in the house. That's Joe's life right now. Motels usually have the sign on the doors that give you directions in case for a fire. There we go. So now, we did this. Now here, we're prepping in our hotel in case if there is a fire, right? But now we're still in the hotel. How to detect signs of bugs in your hotel room. A, debris resting on the floor next to the wall shows your wall or ceiling has been recently tampered with. B, look for faulty switches that do not seem to turn anything on. C, multiple smoke detectors in one room are signs of hidden storage areas for bugs. Oh my goodness, I was not thinking that kind of bug. I'm like reading these choices and I'm thinking, what does that have to do with bed bugs and roaches? I was thinking like bugs, like crawly, creepy bugs, like your hotel room is infested with bugs, because I would be out of there so fast, it would be funny. I think they're talking about like, oh my goodness, like bugs, you know, like during, what is that? You know what kind of bugs, right? They're not talking about creepy crawly bugs. I thought they were talking about creepy crawly bugs. They're talking about like the bugs that were during the presidency, the Watergate presidency situation. That's the kind of bugs they're talking about. The bugs like that would have been in Watergate. That's funny. I was not thinking. Okay, so now I have to listening devices. Yes, that kind of bugs. Okay. So how to detect signs of bugs in your hotel room is what it says. Okay, A, debris resting on the floor next to the wall shows, debris resting on the floor next to a wall shows your wall or ceiling has been recently tampered with. Like Nixon bugs, okay? That's what they're talking about. B, looking for faulty switches that do not seem to turn anything on. And C, multiple smoke detectors in one room are a sure sign of hidden storage areas for bugs. And not roaches. That's not the kind that we're talking about. Even though that's the kind I was thinking they were talking about. I never go into a hotel room and wonder if there's bugs in my room. I mean, yeah, creepy crawly bugs, but not listening device. I am though freaked out about like cameras, like, you know, like peeping Tom cameras and holes. I've heard of crazy stuff like that. A and C, we have answers of A and C. I don't know. I think this is a strange question for me. So apparently I'm a paranoid person because I am prepping for a fire in a hotel, and now I think my hotel room is full of bugs, listening device bugs. So the answer is A. Debris resting on the floor next to the wall shows your wall or ceiling has been recently tampered with. All right. So now this is funny. How to survive on bugs. This is on the back of this. How to survive on bugs. And now they're talking about the creepy crawly kind, not the listening device kind. Aye. So, A, maggots can be eaten raw or cooked. B, centipedes can be eaten only when cooked and are considered a delicacy. C, crickets contain high concentrates of poison, belladonna, and should never be eaten. Or D, there's no way in heck by eating any of those three options. Just saying. Nope, just let me die. Sherry says, good morning, Sharon. Good morning, all been lazy. Hope you're all doing well. We are. I feel like it's taking me a long time to finish this quilt, but I am doing a lot more to it than normal. Okay, so ready for the answer? Deb, what are you eating? What are you munching on? What's your bug of choice? B. When I was in high school, took a class on wilderness survival. It was fun to learn what you can and cannot eat. Now I'm not even know if I'm hungry for breakfast now. I think I lost my appetite. All right, so the answer is maggots. Maggots is the answer. I haven't. Muriel says she has enough body fat to survive for over more. She's not worried. Rita, she's eating tree bark. So maggots is the answer. Maggots can be eaten raw or cooked. And when I read that, all I could think of is I just watched Henry the whatever thing, and they poured, besides the leeches, they poured maggots all over his festering wound on his leg, and that's all I could think of is like, oh, no, I do not. Maggots just gross me out. Yuck is right. Are any of them covered in chocolate? Probably not. I've seen crickets covered in chocolate. I've never seen maggots as an offering. I've seen ants. I've seen crickets in stores. The only thing I ever think of maggots is when they eat a festering wound, and I don't think so. No. All right, so I pinned this. We are in the home stretch of this quilt. I'm kind of over this quilt already, almost. Okay. So now let's move on from these maggots, from the bugs and the other bugs and all bugs. They still do that to deep wounds in the hospital today. Yes, they do. And then do they say, who wants to eat maggots? Okay, the maggots have feasted on this lovely flesh. Who wants breakfast or lunch or dinner? No, thank you. Keep that to yourself. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. The maggots that go on wounds are specially bred so they're sterile. They go on tiny and come off 5 days later huge. And then they become someone's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. No, thank you. Nope. All right, ready? The safest flight to Rome statistically. So what is the safest flight to Rome statistically? A nonstop 6 p.m. flight from New York to Rome in August. B, a nonstop 6 p.m. flight from New York to Rome in October. C, an evening flight from New York to Boston, Boston to London, and London to Rome any time of the year. None of the above. Haha. C. B. So the answer is B, a nonstop 6 p.m. flight from New York to Rome in October. Whoop. So those of you who are traveling for the pilgrimage, you're not statistically on the safest flight. But you all will be fine. You will all be fine. I would go with C and enjoy, yes, travel. Okay, so now I have the sides on, and with that, that is our last question. We're done for the day on questions. Okay, non-stops are usually safest compared to all those stops. Yes, because you're right, you're going up and down one too many times. So yes, I agree, it would be. Actually, I still have a little time. I'm gonna go ahead and press this, and let's do some of these questions. We haven't done some of these questions in a while. I take that back. We'll do some of these. Ready? What computer language is composed only of ones and zeros? Ones and zeros. Yeah, I don't want to talk about, I'm done talking about all those survival questions. Some of them are downright gross. We've had a lot of gross. So if I put the top and the bottom on this, technically this quilt, well, and the other border would be done and over, but I'm not done. 911 are nonstop flights with full fuel tanks, not for me. Okay. Oh, 911 were nonstop flights with fuel tank. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, the binary code. Yes, it is the binary code. You are right. Ding, 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 ding. All right, the binary code it is. Ready? What company launched the first telephone fax machine, known as LDX, in 1964? I didn't know the fax machine was around that long. Wow. Okay. IBM is not the answer. Ooh, my nose is itchy. Xerox, Xerox for the win. It was Xerox. All right, let me put the top and the bottom to this. So, let's see what the top is. Which one was the top? I don't even recall. Well, I will know because depending on which the last one. So, this is the bottom. And this has to be the top because we started off with pink. Yep, the top it is. Good morning, Mona. All right, ready? Here we are next. Who was the first democratically elected president of Russia? Who was the first democratically elected president of Russia? Good morning, Roberta. Thank you. So I'm putting on anybody got ideas? Okay, they actually gave us I wasn't sure if you were going to know this. So they actually gave us choices. So the choices are Nikita. Oh, right. I'm going to be able to pronounce some of this. Okay, here we go. Nikita Khrushchev. I'm sorry. Boris Yeltsin. That I could pronounce. And Mikhail Gorbachev. Which one? His first name was Boris. I don't remember how to spell the last. That's all right because, I mean, I actually knew this question. I may not know how to pronounce the first one, but yes, it is Boris Yeltsin. Okay, what type of reaction are the terms fusion and fission associated with? And there's no choices with this. You just kind of have to know. Nuclear as in bombs. Yes, nuclear, and then in parentheses they have atomic. All right. Through the Looking Glass is a sequel to what 1865 children's novel? Through the Looking Glass is a sequel to what 1865 children's novel? Alice in Wonderland for the win. Yes, Alice in Wonderland it was. Or it is, not. Okay, who was the only world heavyweight champion boxer to retire undefeated during the 20th century? Who was the only world heavyweight champion boxer to retire undefeated during the 20th century? have the bottom goes on. Muhammad Ali, Woohoo Rocky, George Foreman. When I think of George Foreman, I just think of the grill. I don't even think that he is a boxer. I just don't picture it now. That's what happens. I think the whole world had a George Foreman grill at one time. Okay. Putting my last border before I do the white borders. And then I've got to think about what to do with all those scraps because I want to use them up. Don't want to have to deal with them later. I still do. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure I still have mine here somewhere. So yes, the answer is Rocky. So it's Rocco Marciano. Rocco Marciano. All right, so I am pinning, because pinning is winning sometimes. Sometimes, you know, I don't pin all the time. I don't know. I'm finding that I'm pinning more often than I ever used to. All right, here. All right, and let me grab one more of these. Here we are. In classical mechanics, there are 3 types of mass. So in classical mechanics, there are 3 types of mass. Passive, active, and what? I bought it before I got a panini maker. We have reactive. That's not the answer to this. I'm getting so excited. I'm singing the song, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it because I can't wait to see what this looks like. And actually, I said I was getting sick of this project, but now I'm excited to work on how to incorporate those scraps into this quilt. Aggressive. I bought it before I got a panini maker. Reactive. So it is, where is it? Inertial. I'm probably not saying that right, but all right. Here we go. So excited. Oh. So this is Satterlee. This is Satterlee, and Satterlee is by Soft Squares entry for using a Villa Rosa pattern using a jelly roll. And as you can see, there are blank spaces in there. I made this uniquely mine by using my heart templates and putting in hearts where those blank spaces are. And I am loving it. I'm going to sit here for a little bit and I'm just going to take this all in. This here, these strips need, hello Carrie Quilts, these strips need to still go around the border. And according to them, it's done. But it makes a square quilt, and I want to make it a little bit, I don't know. I want to make it oblong. I want to make it a rectangle. And I have a pile of scraps. So I am thinking I am going to do the white around and do another border on the top of these strips, on the top and on the bottom is what I think I'm going to do. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is just take, what am I going to do? I'm going to take and put the white border on the top and the bottom. Then I am going to put another strip of these strips, right? Because I have all those on the top and on the bottom. And then I'm going to put white around everything. And then it'll make a nice little rectangle. And then I think I will be done with it. And then I hope that all those scraps are done. The hearts are perfect for that quilt. Yes, it's the Leanna touch. That's right. And I applicate them, raw applique. I'm so excited I did that. Let me show you one last thing because I do have to get ready for work. I don't know why I'm stalling. This here was in the Ginger Quilter box. She put a pin cushion, like mini project in there. And I normally, I'm not a mini project person, but I don't know, retreat has changed me. I'm over here doing raw edge applique, and look, I even hot glued it. I stitched it. I don't do a lot of slow stitching because it honestly hurts my hands, but I did slow stitch it, and I did this yesterday. Super easy, so much fun. Let me stick a pin in it. It needs a pin. Here we go. Here, I have a pin. Let's open these. I have these cat pins that are been in here that doesn't belong in here. Here we go. Look, I've got my cat pins in there. So it's very cute. I'm going to put this over here for right now. And with that said, everybody, you know what? Let's do this last question because I just want to get it done and over with. What 1954 novel focuses on a group of British boys stranded on an island and their attempt to govern themselves? Anyone know? Hi, Michelle. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thank you. Anyone know? I'm going to quickly do this. It is Lord of the Flies. So everyone, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, and share my channel. I did upload a video this morning discussing on how I've made this uniquely my own quilt. So just check that out. And if you wouldn't mind on your way out hitting the like button, I would so appreciate it. Take care. Bye.